Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate? Look at you in the
Ah,
tropics.
what a lovely morning. I did all my diving. I am now almost officially, uh, advanced certified diver. I just got to do the online stuff. But as far as the actual diving skills go, I passed them all. Was a struggle, but I got it done. And I am now at hands down the nicest Bitcoin center in the world. I would love for anyone to challenge that they have a Bitcoin center that is nicer than this. I am at the highest point on Rotan Island, and this is my view, my 360 view at my office for the day.
Yeah, unbelievable. That Rotan is severely underutilized for what it could be and what it's going to be. I really can't wait to come and see it. All right, this is a midweek show, and typically I like to have the midweek show a bit quicker, and it's a perfect time to do a quicker show because I think that the price is exactly where a midweek show price should be, right? It's exactly in the middle on this doji here of the worst, terrible nonsense at 91 and the euphoria of being above 102 again and cracking on higher. And I don't have a good read. Really, I don't have a good read on the weekly, except to say, well, we're above the 7 simple moving average as it stands right now, which means we're above every moving average and they're all in order. There's nothing to worry about on the weekly. That's all I can say. That's all I can say on some of the oscillators as I bring them up right now. I really like where the EXA. I'll keep you updated on the EXA the same way I always do. Same way I did back here when we had that bullish cross. Same way I had here when we had the bearish cross. Now we're back below zero, waiting for that bullish cross to come in, and I really can see some serious momentum if this just continues to straight line down. I hope it gets really low, right? I'd love it to trend sideways to the point where we get a very, very well-defined breakout rather than like a few failed attempts at a breakout. Even like the price we are at right now, if the price kicked off right now, it would look more like exactly this one back here in January, where I really, really love them when they get overextended. So the EXA, it looks fine. The like a bad case could be made for the RSI as it stands right now. I'm not prepared to do that, but you know, there's a there's a case to be made for some kind of divergence here, especially when you include back into March. It's like a long term divergence. I wonder what that RSI looks like on the monthly, and the EXA as well. Is shaping down. Maybe this needs more time to round off, and as long as we stay above the zero line, it's all positive. The weekly midweek show, I've already spoken too much about it. The daily time frame is exactly sort of the same for me, where I was really, really loving the recovery we had off the bottom. And then yesterday I was fine with the correction back down to that sort of medium place. But today it looks less exciting. It's like that bearish cross is imminent. We have come back up today, retouched on the 50 and faded. I just want we it's back to that point of like that we were at a couple of days ago where we've really got to make our way back above 102 to feel confident in this. And you'll see on the lower time frames the fade that's sort of coming in. We need to see some follow through, and the weekly hasn't given it to us yet. So we'll just keep an eye on that as it goes. The 3-day time frame, which I looked at in yesterday's show, I'll bring that up. So I'm jumping around a bit. This is exactly what I mentioned in yesterday's show, that we have that rally was fine coming off and sustaining above the flipping that lucid SAR, but to come back and touch on exactly on the 7 simple moving average, make our way back down to be squashed in between the 30 and the 7. That for me is right in the belly of the beast, as I said in yesterday's show. So I just want to see this follow through. It doesn't need that much to go from 98, 300, back to 105. I know that's still a pretty sizable gap, but things will be looking a lot different at 105 than they are at 98, obviously, right? For this thing to fade back down But 89 again would look awful. So we'll just keep an eye on that 3 day as time goes on. Down to the 4 hour time frame. And unfortunately, as it stands right now, this is not that exciting except for the what's it called, MRI, which Tone can talk about when he brings the MRI up. But the correction that we had was, I mean, this is in hindsight a fantastic buy. It's what I preach in Alpha Numerics, to try and get the best buy you possibly can, as near as you can to the Lucid SAR. And this was just perfect. I didn't take it down there. I took it up here at 96, 128.
And Matt, and also to the MRI support line, we came pretty close.
Yeah, that's the MRI support and resistance is down here, but this is the modified Lucid SAR. They do look the same on here, but yes, you're right. This is what I always preach in my stuff. You want that buy to come in as possible.
I'm sorry, that's your Lucid SAR. My bad. I thought that was the MRI support line because I'm looking at it on a small screen. On my screen, they're not as pronounced. I don't have them as big as you do, so I got all confused. That's my fault.
No, that's okay. But I mean, it's not. It's the same sort of point. I think that, like, coming back into the wave, getting near to that is a great buy because you've got a stop loss where you could cut the trade. I didn't see it in real time. I was a bit too spooked about that drop and had to wait for something recovery. But the recovery now looks really, really clear that we just came to that point of the 30 simple and the 50 simple on the 4 hour. And now we've faded back down and we are below all 4 of the moving averages on the 4 hour time frame. Now, this could be a fantastic place to put in a lower high. I'm still in this trade, as I said, from 96, 128. Look how close I was to getting. I didn't actually have a stop loss in, to be honest. I can't lie. But I mean, when I woke up in the morning, that could have been bad, real bad, but it wasn't. But we had bounced, but we got very close to my entry. Now I'm in profit, but I'm not going to accept that getting down there and below my entry again. I promise tonight I'll set a break-even stop loss on this trade. It could round from here. This could be a fantastic low, higher low, and then with the MRI count coming in now, we could flip it all across. Fantastic, but it just needs some follow-through. 15-minute, I'll finish off very quickly on the 15-minute. This is what I'm seeing on the 15-minute. That was last night when we came back down to the thing. We've just been writing these moving averages. Actually, it did look like even just now we sort of tried to come out of that. But no, I got nothing on the 15-minute. Sorry, thought I did. I do not. I just don't want. I don't want to see us stay above at least 97. I might even put my stop loss tonight at 97, right? So I can take some profit out on this trade, at least some. Coming back to you now, brother, as I work my way back through all this jungle. There I am. Where are you? Did I turn you off? Did you turn yourself off?
I turned myself off. This way, we're not blocking too much of the time horizon on your charts. So
Perfect. Please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Hey, I've added some links in the description below to my Instagram and Twitter account. Please go ahead and like it. We're only 3 weeks away from the Karate Combat in Denver, Colorado. And I'm going to start posting a lot more stuff on my Instagram and stuff, trying to stir the pot. I'm going to start really attacking this dude I'm fighting. So get on board with that. It's going to be really, really fun to see.
Yeah, Matt, hey, after the show, double check that they're in there because I used description from the prior videos and stuff. So it's got anyway. We'll check on that. Okay, I'm going to do my screen share. Hold on.
Awesome.
What am I doing here? Nope. New platforms. We're still learning. Boom. Okay. So, as Matt said, what do I do here? Here we go. This is starting to look a good candle. We're streaming after 10 a.m. So we're gonna take a look if the 10 a.m. reversal did anything. But we're gonna start off with the higher level time frame. This is the weekly time frame. As long as this candle closes green, we are in a bullish phase. We're still in a bullish phase. We're in a consolidated bullish phase. The longer we consolidate at these prices, the more bullish Bitcoin gets. And if it ever meets this 50-period moving average on the weekly chart, I believe that's the 50 period. Yep, that's the 200. That's the 20 period. This would be the 50 period because that's the 200. If it meets this 20 period moving average, we will then have beautiful support to bounce off of. The weekly chart, however, is not that interesting. It is neutral on the MRI. The daily chart, I'm not happy with this candle. So I didn't like the downside yesterday, and it's more pronounced on the short-term level. During yesterday's show, we were sitting on this 7 a.m. 4-hour candle on this support line. If you put the hourly chart up, the support line looks very, very clean. And now in hindsight, we could even adjust the support line a bit, but either way, it's obvious when and where this support line got broken. Here's the hourly version of this support line. This support line needed to hold at the very least this hourly candle at 2 p.m. Yesterday, Eastern time. When we fell a little below it and then recaptured it, we needed to stay here. By not being able to recapture this support line, we are in a concerning situation. The concerning situation could be good if we do fall into an MRI buy opportunity. However, I don't really want to see us fall into the $80,000 range. We are now working on a beautiful double support in the $80,000 range, being the 128-day moving average in yellow and the MRI support line. But we would run into a double bottom situation, which I don't like. As Matt said, at the moment, we are in a clear higher low scenario. But we don't have a lot of margin for error here. We had margin for error yesterday if yesterday's candle kept us above 100K. And then we can continue to consolidate for a little while, maybe even pull back into the 90s and then bounce from there. Our margin of error here is very, very tight. And even though I would love to get a perfect MRI buy opportunity 4 days from now, which means going into the weekend, we can get through the weekend, we can get our MRI opportunity. But if that MRI buy opportunity is coming at the $92,000 range, I am very, very concerned because not all the ducks are lining up. And I don't want to see us go below 97. Like 97 is my line in the sand right now. I really did not like how yesterday's closed. I was so confident that we were going to hold 101 yesterday, but we didn't. And we closed the day even below 98. That is concerning. It may not be concerning, that we're entering a bear market. That's not the concern. The concern is that the bottom of 89 and the secondary bottom of 91.5 may not be the low of current consolidation. And I'm starting to get this very early feel like we are sitting over here on the middle of June of 2024, where if current candle ends up closing as a new weekly low, it does right here, and that here is 93,000, and it doesn't have to be current candle, it could be next candle. If over the next two candles we start approaching and closing the candles near the $93,000 area, even $94,000 area on a weekly end close, it's going to start to feel like we're approaching the May lows on weekly closes in June of last year, and look what it led to. So, Matt, what do you think about this?
Yeah, look, this is really interesting, and I'll be completely honest. As a full-time trader, I am horrific at identifying sideways markets. I've been guilty of it for a decade. I tend to be very, very effective in trending markets. I never miss like those purple phantom signals. I never miss massive run up moves. I'm quite good at getting out near the top. I'm good at catching moves before they really materialize into big gains. But I'm
And
always
you're also pretty good at catching the falling knife.
Yeah, I have some ability with all of that, and overall, it brings me out up overall. But I'm terrible at figuring out that we're in a trending market until way too late, and I do give money back. And if what you're saying is correct, I hate those situations, Tone. I hate months and months and months and months of consolidated. Everybody hates it, but I give too much back. I can't stop the addiction of trading, and I do. That's my opinion of that. So you might be right, and it would make sense to me that you're right, and I didn't pick it up until 2 months later.
Right. So I would use this line. So for me, as you can see, we have the monthly swing low, sorry, the weekly swing low coming in the week of January 13th. But we have the weekly low close coming in on the week of December 23rd. I put more emphasis on the weekly close when it comes to longer term analysis. And because the lowest pullback close is so close to the prior one, which is super close to the prior one, I would use this as my line in the sand, and I would go up even a smidge. I would use the following as a guide. If we get a weekly close below 96,000, I would be very, very concerned, to the point of maybe it's better to sit in cash and wait for a weekly close, wait for the new second highest weekly close ever, which would be above 103,000. So, I mean, again, I'm coming up with this analysis on the fly right now. We no longer need this Fibonacci extension. I think at the moment it's in my way. I no longer need this. I'm going to put in I know this video is running a little longer than it should, but if I get on a roll with a brand new analysis take, I'm going to take all the time I need to process it so that it's here for future reference. This is my personal new line in the sand here. I'm going to raise this to 95.5. I can tune these in. This is my new absolute no trade zone. Okay, unless you're a short-term trader, we're talking longer-term investment style positions. I become a massive bull on a weekly close above 103, and I become a massive bear on a weekly close below 95.5. But the massive bear below 95.5 has a little bit of an asterisk. And that asterisk is it also has to lose the lucid SAR, and it has to lose the moving average. So having a close below this week is not going to make me as panicky as having it happen in March. That would be more concerning. And I know I may sound contradictory, because earlier in this video, I have stated that the longer we consolidate, the more bullish we get. But there's also limits with two support levels that I don't really want to lose. It's a little bit tricky, but everything will be fine as long as we recapture the center of this zone and start consolidating between the dotted line at 99.5 and the solid line at 103. And as long as we're consolidating in this area and eventually closing above 103, I am going to be so confident going massively long. Matt, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Is it possible to get another phantom candle walking out of this consolidation? Because I don't know what triggers these.
Would take a long time. Long time.
Okay, so unlikely.
Well, yeah, unlikely if we just trend sideways. It's the Copic curve. It's straight from Tyler Jenks, and it's so funny that you mention it because I was just going to mention as well. Like, I'd love to see Mark Woods take on a potential Selgin sort of situation that might be sort of developing now as well, which I'm not an expert on at all. But I can show you what just really briefly here. I'm on my charts right now, Tone. So as I open this up, I'll go to the weekly time frame. There's no secrets here, guys. Like, all of my work is just somebody else's work that I've just packaged to help you. What I think that you need. So if you look at the Copic curve here, the purple phantom comes in here. It comes in here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh boy,
it's nowhere
yeah,
near.
that's unlikely anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't bode well. The rounding. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can see like how extended it can be. Like, when you look at it in hindsight, that's gone way back to 2012. So forget about that. Just look at like recent history.
Right.
You know, all good in that sense. I'm coming off screens there. Yeah, so we're not at the start of a bull run. If either way, in my opinion.
All right, so I took screen share back. You mentioned the Selgin system, which is a broadening mouth pattern kind of thing, and the broadening wedge in both directions, and it has some elements of that, but it's very low sloping. So maybe that's a good thing, and it doesn't have enough closes for me. Like, I think we're stretching the Selgin system a bit because we are relying on extreme points of the weekly chart. So I do need to review that video myself on whether or how will it look on the daily. But something to keep in mind. Maybe I'll leave these here to kind of remind myself a bit. Okay, let's move on. Right now, I am so neutral on the price of Bitcoin right now. I don't know how else to explain it. We're going to need more time in order to generate any kind of, signal for me. Significantly below the cycle expectation. So that also needs to reverse, but the chart is not pointing to an immediate reversal. The price of oil is significantly pulling back here. I was super bullish on oil. I would now step back. The red star candle takes me out of bullish expectation on oil. Gold. Oh, beautiful. We're almost at 3,000. The higher we go into an MRI top, the more likely I will be to sell my gold, especially the silver. This video is running long. Remind me to look at silver in the near future. I still have some silver. I didn't sell it all last time. If silver is rallying faster than gold, then it could be time to sell silver instead of gold. Either way, I may take advantage of the gold MRI top. And in fact, if we get a real blow off top, like a real blow off top into a weekly MRI top, I may short gold in the futures market. I have no problem shorting gold, none whatsoever. I have not kept up with the political sphere. I don't know what Trump is doing with the reserve, or in general, I'm too busy diving. And And on the other side, I know that US states are being very active in creating Bitcoin reserves for the states, which should be very bullish when it comes to Bitcoin. And I will say the ETFs handled this drop over the weekend like a champ. After all the volatility we had, between Monday and Tuesday, we're net positive on ETF inflow, which is huge, huge. Guys, eventually there's not going to be enough Bitcoin. The crunch is coming. And man, when that crunch comes, Force used to call that a gamma squeeze. Still confused on why we're calling it a gamma squeeze, but like, man, Bitcoin can pop 10K in hours if this keeps happening. When you have these mass liquidation events or mass volatility that leaves the price of Bitcoin lower, but the ETFs are accumulating more Bitcoin, that's an under the hood situation that it's bullish. It's super bullish. Very, very good. I did a whole deep dive on Max Payne yesterday. I'm just going to double check that 59 hasn't changed and 58 hasn't changed from yesterday's video. And they did. Look at that. Look at that. You saw it a second ago. It was 59 and 58, and now it's 57, 50, and 57, 50. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Max Payne has been, well, it was lowered, but it's still higher than the current price of Bitcoin. So the other day when we were doing this show, this is super important. The other day when we were doing the show and Bitcoin was sitting up here at 101, 102, and I was saying, hey, actually come down into Friday's close. Max Payne has dropped, but now the price of Bitcoin might actually come up into Friday's close. So now I've just become a little bit bullish. Even though Max Payne is down, it's still higher than the current IBIT price. Let me just double check the IBIT price at the moment. And here's IBIT. And the current IBIT price is, yeah, it is 55.76. And Max Payne is at 57. So there's an incentive from financial institutions to raise the price of Bitcoin into Friday. That just made me a little extra bullish going into Friday. And that's it. The stock market is nothing special today. And the last thing I want to see is the 10 a.m. reversal before I let you guys go. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. Let's look at how Bitcoin behaved at market open. And then we look at the stock market as well. Where is my 10 a.m.? Here's the 10 a.m. Here's the 10:05 a.m. candle. 10:05 a.m. candle makes a low. It goes up. It runs into 5-minute moving averages. I'm not sure if they're relevant or not. And unfortunately, while we did have a 10 a.m. reversal, I don't think it was significant enough to make any kind of, even daily life-changing profit or daily profit. Let me look at the stock market as well. I'm very curious on what the 10 a.m. reversal looked like on a 5-minute scale. Here is 10 a.m. The low comes in at exactly 10 a.m. Market opens. Here we go. 10 a.m. is a crash. 10 a.m. reversal from the stock market. And if the stock market reversed more than 10 points, that is significant enough for me back as a trader and reverse 20 points. See, this to me is significant enough. Capturing a 20-point move in the S&P 500 futures, for me, even back in the day, would have been at least $2,000 in daily profit, which honestly is enough to make a living. So there was significant amount of profit made in the S&P 500 on the 10 a.m. reversal, and the 10 a.m. reversal strikes again. And right now, I would be taking profit on that trade. My stop loss gets hit. So good. 10 a.m. reversal does well. All right, guys. Financial Summit in the Maldives, about 5 weeks away now. Is going to be an incredible event. Consider joining us in the Maldives. Check out videos of our past events. $9,000 all-inclusive food, alcohol event, villa on the water, a few $100 extra. You get a private pool as well. Just will look awesome in your Instagram shots. Come and join us and follow us across social media. And if those of you that play poker, Unconfiscatable Poker Tournament will be May 30th, the day after the big Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. Not my Bitcoin conference, the Bitcoin conference by Bitcoin Magazine ends on the 29th. Our poker game is May 30th. Only 50 seats. About 20 seats have already been claimed. So hurry up because this will absolutely sell out. Poker tournament, no other than the buy-in for the tournament, there is no charge to be at the event. You can come to this event for free if you're not playing poker. If you're playing poker, you got to pay the buy-in, but there's no rake, there's no fee, there is nothing. But I am looking for sponsors. So
I tell you what, Tone, if I win this fight in 3 weeks, my next fight might be in Las Vegas. I know the Karate Combat will be there at that tournament, so that might work out really nicely. That'll be huge.
Hey, I would love to have this sponsored by Karate Combat. We'll chat with them.
Let's talk about it. All right, let's get off the show. Wednesday, come on.
All right, we're done. We're
Really
done.
1 a.m. here.
How do I end the screen share here? Done.
Socrates, hey man. All right. Thank you for joining Wednesday show. Way longer than I expected, but there was some revelations that Tone dropped on us tonight, which I think are really interesting. So see you tomorrow. Let's hope Bitcoin kicks off. It is exactly in the middle of 2 rocks at the moment, I reckon. All right, mate.
All right, bye, guys. The TLDR is, I'm very concerned we lost the $100,000 area. And if we don't recapture it in the next 36 hours, it could spell trouble. Bye, guys.